It's appeared to make intentional contact with an umpire. Now, we last saw this back in 2022. Toby Green got 6 weeks for pushing an umpire to the chest. You see Brayden Maynard charge in there, and maybe he was attempting to make contact with Ben Long, and the umpire's got in the way. This vision does not look good because the AFL is so hot on this. He's charged in at speed, pushed the umpire in the middle of his back. Now, that appears to be an intentional umpire. Intentional contact grading, that's straight to the tribunal, and then from there it could be multiple weeks. What do you guys think?
So this is part 2 of the round 17 review. Collingwood's 6-point win over Gold Coast Saturday twilight at Carrara, People First Stadium. The reason for this, and just some context as well, the review of the game uploaded Sunday morning, 17-minute video pretty much. It was a 30-minute recording where I talked about the game in depth for 20 minutes, cut down to 17 minutes, bit of dead air, and also just getting out the waffling or any sort of duplicate or repeating myself sort of thing, down from 20 to 17 minutes. But it was a 30-minute recording because I did spend 10 minutes talking about Brayden Maynard, the melee, the umpire contact. Ben Long, he's hit on Brayden Maynard late second quarter, and Tuke Miller's contact as well. I'll talk about all this a little bit later on, but just some context there. I would be ignorant or remiss, and I think you'd be ignorant as well, if you didn't talk about the game without talking about Brayden Maynard and the umpire contact, the melee. It was a big talking point from the game, unfortunately, and it sucks because it was a great game. Watching the full replay, it was a very good game, a great game, sorry, not very good. Great, to be honest. One of the best games of the year, in my opinion, quality and whatnot. Stakes involved, an 8-point game, a mini elimination final, a wildcard game to get yourself into wildcard purgatory or wildcard contention. And thank goodness we won. But the main talking point from this game, unfortunately, was Brayden Maynard and the umpire contact, not just for Brayden Maynard, but for Tuke Miller, the melee. Ben Long being suspended for 2 games, 18 players were sanctioned for that melee, $41,000 in fines. Brayden Maynard was fined $8,000, $5,000 for the umpire contact, $1,500 for instigating a melee, and $1,500 for engaging in a wrestle. Tuke Miller, $5,000 fine for umpire contact. Ben Long suspended for 2 games, and everyone else not suspended, but fined for $1,500, $1,500 is what I'm trying to say. So just to go over it again, Bailey Humphrey gets the head-high free kick with seconds to go in the second quarter, converts a set shot, down to 2-goal game before halftime. Maynard and Humphrey, bit of remonstration, then Ben Long comes in from behind, a rib tickler, and Brayden Maynard goes down, instigates a bit of a melee. I say a bit of a melee compared to what happened at halftime. Halftime siren goes and the melee starts. There's an umpire in the way. Unfortunately, when Brayden Maynard and Tuke Miller and every other player runs in, Maynard, Tuke Miller make contact with the umpire in the middle of a melee, and the melee ensues, and the rest is history. That's the summary of it all. This video is more talking about the reaction to Brayden Maynard, the melee, the umpire contact, everything involved. It's going to be more of a broad blanket toward just my view and just discourse as well, and overreaction, sensationalisms, and everything like that. Because when I was watching this game, now I wasn't at the pub or with mates for this one. I was at home by myself. I was a bit tired, knackered. Socceroos Saturday morning, and also the VFL and whatnot. I don't want to waffle on, just providing context for why I've come to these sort of thoughts and whatnot. So, just my overall thoughts at the time. There was a melee. I was amped. I was pumped about it. I did not think throughout that melee of any sort of umpire contact or anything like that. And I am willing to bet my life savings and anything that's close to me that no footy fan at the time thought of any umpire contact during that melee. No fan, no pundit, no analyst, no one. Unless you are the most hardcore of umpire defenders, or you are a union member for the umpire. I'm not trying to exaggerate or anything like that. It's just no one in their right mind thought of umpire contact when the melee occurred. Jay Clark's comments at halftime pretty much is when it occurred. His comments, sensationalist, pretty much, speculating on the length of suspension for Brayden Maynard for making contact with an umpire. They talked about this on the Fox Footy panel about the major talking point from that was umpire contact. And again, I guarantee no footy fan or anyone that saw that melee thought the main talking point immediately after the brawl or the melee and when the players ran into the huddles or to the tunnel at halftime that there was umpire contact from Brayden Maynard, Tuke Miller as well, for that sake. And that's what's pissing me off regarding it, was the immediate reaction. And it's immediate because it was literally minutes afterwards. I could understand if Jay Clark mentioned this at halftime of Richmond v Carlton, and hey, we looked at the footage and we saw that, hey, there was actually umpire contact, which would be fair enough. And based on the sanctions involved, that's pretty much what the reaction should have been. Now, Jay Clark was the one that said that. I would also guarantee that someone at Fox Footy behind the scenes has an agenda and thought to bring it up to Jay Clark and whoever else was involved in that panel, and the rest was history. They ran with it. They created a bit of a shit show in regards to the media reaction, and what it does is it trickles to social media, and that's where the circus starts, unfortunately, when it comes to social media, X or Twitter, Reddit, the AFL subreddit. What the fuck is that place? If you're a Collingwood supporter on the AFL subreddit, my goodness, uh, thoughts and prayers to you. That place is a cesspool. It's not for you. I'm happy for you guys to not be on Reddit. You can leave your comments in my YouTube videos and my Instagram and whatnot. But the AFL subreddit, it's not a fair discourse for Collingwood fans. There is a Collingwood subreddit. I rarely look at it, but just know that there's an online safe space for you guys, and it's clear the AFL subreddit's not for you. When I see online speculating on the suspension duration for Brayden Maynard, are you saying that from a place of heart? Are you saying that because you genuinely want to defend umpiring? Are you saying that because you need to make a statement for these sort of suspensions and make sure umpire contact's not okay? Because from what I'm seeing online in the last 24, 48 hours is I don't think there's a thought of defending umpires. I think you're saying this because you want to see Brayden Maynard suspended. Because I guarantee as well, if the roles were reversed, if Brayden Maynard had come up on Ben Long from behind and Ben Long told Brayden Maynard, you are fucked, I'll see you 1v1 Clifton Hill Macca's car park, that if Ben Long instigated that melee and Brayden Maynard was hiding behind an umpire, I'm not trying to call Ben Long a coward or anything like that regarding hiding behind an umpire, because that was probably the best thing that could have occurred. Because had he not hidden behind an umpire, if he was saying, all right, let's get it on sort of thing, I think there would have been genuine punches thrown. And then you would have seen me saying, all right, that's stupid. A suspension would have been in order, would have gone straight to the tribunal. In fact, I thought this umpire contact would have gone straight to the tribunal for Collingwood and Gold Coast to offer a please explain and whatnot. And I think there will be a please explain uh, regarding umpire contact and whatnot. I wouldn't be surprised. As of this recording, it's 1:30 p.m. during my lunch break. It may not be over. The AFL could actually double check this and go, you know what, let's take it to the tribunal. Bit of a long shot as of this recording, but if things change, I'll have this uploaded later tonight. If things do change, I'll put myself out there so I don't have to make a second video and just whatnot. So if it goes to the tribunal, you heard it from me first and whatnot. But just with the reaction online, media, they create the shit show, the sensationalism, the clickbaits and whatnot. And when it goes to social media, it gets turned up to 11 and you see the bullshit reactions online. And my goodness, certain people online, I'm tagged in a few things on Instagram and I see it online with Reddit and Twitter and everything like that. Certain comments from certain people, these people have no lives. It's the weekend, I get it. These people commenting their thoughts and whatnot, they go on and on and on. I'm not talking paragraphs, I'm talking like follow-ups and replies and whatnot. People who putting their life stakes and their entire attention to this incident. And again, I guarantee these people, they're not doing this from a place of heart for defending umpires. They're doing this because Brayden Maynard was the main culprit involved in all of this. And they want to see a suspension. They want to see a Collingwood player suspended. They want to see Brayden Maynard suspended. Be honest, be upfront about it. And the one comment that sticks out for me, and this is, I'm calling this sort of comment out, I just want to see consistency with these decisions made. All fucking shit. You don't want to see consistency. That's the equivalent of a guy saying to a woman that they're a nice guy, a male feminist. It's all bullshit. We can all see through it. You don't want consistency with these decisions made. You just want to see a Collingwood player suspended, because I just know if the roles were reversed, you'd be dead quiet. You'd be dead quiet. So for anyone who's writing paragraphs or defending umpires, and it's a fair point. There's certain people and there's certain pundits and opinions and whatnot, which is fair enough. I'm not calling you guys out. I'm calling out certain people, certain groups, and you know who you are. The ones who are up and about, up in arms about this decision made with the fines involved for Maynard and Tuke Miller and everyone else. Ben Long gets suspended. You're more angry about the fine instead of Ben Long being suspended. And that's bullshit right there. You're more angry about a lack of suspension for Maynard instead of Ben Long coming up from behind on Brayden Maynard because you wanted to see Brayden Maynard hurt. And I'm seeing comments online about certain people glad that Ben Long did that to Brayden Maynard. And you're just as much of a coward. And Ben Long is not a cowardly player. It's a coward shot, but he's not a coward player. He's a decent player. It's something that he would take back. And yeah, he's suspended for 2 games and he deserves it, and the rest is history there. But I just look at the reactions online, and I'm glad I didn't see any games gone sort of comments. But people who are writing paragraphs and saying the game's bullshit and whatnot, yes, it's a grey area. We need to protect umpires a little bit more from my eyes as a Collingwood supporter, and it's not just for Brayden Maynard, it's for Tuke Miller as well. I don't think there should have been a suspension there. There's hypotheticals that can be brought up, and I go, right, if this sort of thing happened, or if this happened instead in regards to umpire contact, then yeah, a suspension's in order. Go to the tribunal, review it, sort of thing. I did see the comparison as well to Toby Green. It's completely different. It's umpire contact. That's the only comparison you can say. But for Toby Green, it was an initial 3-week suspension. The AFL appealed it. They took it to the tribunal, and he got lifted from 3 games to 6 games. And it wasn't just in the context of umpire contact for Toby Green in 2021. It was also to protect Toby Green in a way, because Toby Green had a file sheet so long for suspensions and fines and whatnot that this 6-game suspension for Toby Green in 2021, it had to be done. It had to be done. It had to send a message. That was sending a message. This umpire contact for Brayden Maynard and Tuke Miller here, if you want a suspension to send a message, back your point up on it, because I think you just want a suspension done for the sake of suspension for a Collingwood player. If that sort of situation happens again, and let's say it's between North Melbourne and GWS, if that sort of umpire contact occurred, let's just say if that was Cam Zohar up against Clayton Oliver at halftime, 5 seconds before halftime or whatever, a melee occurs, are you having the same reaction if it was Cam Zohar telling Clayton Oliver, you are fucked, or Clayton Oliver telling Cam Zohar, you are fucked, or whatever? 2 different clubs, 2 different teams, 2 different players. You are not having the same reaction or the same vitriol here, the same way that I wouldn't be as reactionary right now, calling out certain groups or whatever. But I'm going to hold myself accountable as well, because if that sort of thing occurs again and the umpires are contacted by players in that sort of melee situation, yeah, I'm willing to give my thoughts and, oh, what about this or what about that? It's just the reactions are bullshit. And the media, particularly Fox Footy, should be ashamed of themselves. Irresponsible, to be honest. I said that on Magpies Army Chronicles Saturday night, talking about this, and I was reactionary then. I'm still reactionary now. I think I was more coherent Saturday nights. I'm still making this video. Whatever. Fuck you. But the umpire as well, being in the middle of that, I'm not saying he's irresponsible. I don't want to be victim blaming or whatever, but you've got a whistle in your finger or your 2 fingers. Blow the whistle. Take a step back, analyze the situation, report players if you need to, if you're seeing punches and strikes and whatnot, but to be in the middle of that, and you knew that was going to happen as well. And again, I'm victim blaming at this point, and I apologize for that, but you didn't give the free kick to Brayden Maynard for the hit. And what did you think was going to happen? All right. We're not going to just sit back and take it like a bitch. Brayden Maynard being hit by Ben Long, and we're just going to take it like that. No, no, no. Still side bottom. Gets cleaned up by Kit Coleman late second quarter at the Gabba a couple of months ago. It was a fair hit as well. In the middle of play, this was completely different. Ben Long's hit was way worse, and we didn't stand up for still side bottom. We didn't stand up at all as well when that hit occurred. So for us to stand up for Brayden Maynard here, we would have stood up for anyone who got hit in that situation, in that context. Ben Long, again, deserves his suspension. If it gets reduced to 1, if he can appeal it like that, then fair enough. But in regards to the umpire contact, there's certain situations and hypotheticals where I'd go, you know what, that's a suspension right there. And I wouldn't be defending Brayden Maynard or any Collingwood player if it occurred or anything like that. But this was not intentional contact. It's careless. It is stupid still, end of the day. But a $5,000 fine, $8,000 in total. I saw Tom Morris report, and I think the AFL website also had this as well, where if it was any more fines or if it was more extreme, then they would have had to have suspended Maynard or Miller, or it was going to be Maynard only. Tuke Miller did not deserve to be suspended for this. Fine, fair enough. Brayden Maynard, fined, fair enough. No suspensions. Again, from what I saw, there was no intentional contact with the umpire. The umpire had the same awareness as a girl at recess where a ball's flying towards them, hits him in the head. He had all the time in the world to move, and he didn't. Happy Gilmore. He shouldn't have been standing there. That's pretty much it regarding the umpire contact and where he should have been standing and whatnot. And the free kick as well. Should have been paid, and you wouldn't have seen that much of a melee at halftime. Richmond fans, it's not the same umpire. In fact, it was an umpire contact, but Richmond fans last year, when Tom Lynch belted Jordan Butts across the head, Richmond fans were saying, well, you should have been paying free kicks, and Tom Lynch wouldn't have lashed out, pretty much. I can't even speak at this point. Bit of the same sentiment there. The free kick was there on Brayden Maynard, unless Will Lewis, that dive on Friday night was the reason why the umpires weren't paying a free kick. Yeah, it's ridiculous. We'll see if Brayden Maynard has a genuine cracked rib, if he's going to be missing games through injury or whatever. The injury report will be out on Tuesday afternoon. You can follow me on Instagram to see updates regarding Collingwood players available. Yeah, we move on. We got North Melbourne Friday night. Making this video here because I had to get it off my chest. It's not the most coherent ranting and whatnot, but the message is clear regarding it. Brayden Maynard fined, fair enough with it. If anything, he probably should have been fined a little bit more for it. The clubs, sorry, they'll be given a please explain for umpire contact. We're on thin ice, Collingwood and Gold Coast. We've got to be on our best behaviour. Treat the umpires with respect. It's a grey area. There's a few grey areas in our game that we need to officiate better on. Umpire contact, men's mental health, homophobic slurs still being passed around on a monthly basis. Always a player in the VFL doing that. Yeah, there's a lot of areas of the game. Men's mental health. You fans want a men's mental health round. But the way you treat certain players and whatnot, and the stigma for men's mental health in the game in general, we're a long way to go on that. There's a few other issues and whatnot. And just a suggestion as well for certain fans who wanted Brayden Maynard suspended, and you think the game's, I won't say the game's gone because I didn't see any comments on that, but you get the gist of whatever. If you think the game's fucked or whatever, and you're pissed off Brayden Maynard didn't get suspended, you think there's a Collingwood rebate or there's bias in there and whatnot, just go outside, read a book, go for a walk, drink some water, have some fun, talk to a woman, get a life, get a job, touch grass, get a hobby, uh, talk to your parents, find friends, speak to your family members or whatever. Just there's a lot of things you could be doing with your life on a weekend instead of being pissed off on a Sunday or a Monday morning. There's people fucking on the AFL subreddit on a Monday morning talking about this shit. Just get a life, get a job, be busy, do things better with your life. Just fucking unreal. Same with me as well. Recording this on my lunch break. You'll have this uploaded on a Monday night. Not the most coherent sort of talking point in video, but it sucks it got to this point. Brayden Maynard not suspended. Luke Miller not suspended. They're both fined. Ben Long suspended. Deserves it in the end. And we move on. All right. Collingwood, 6-point winners, 3 wins in a row. Gold Coast, 6 losses in a row. We both move on. Let's all move on with our lives. But I'll end this video here. Leave your comments down below, your thoughts or whatever. Just, yeah, unreal, and getting it off my chest. Leave you guys all to it. I hope you guys have a good week. Please be well, please be safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Up the pies.